Listen, guys, it is about time. The Ravens finally watched the old foe, Daniel Faalele, right? Daniel Faalele is no longer a Raven, and he is now a New York Giant. This and so much more in this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. So, like I said, we are back with another episode of QSS Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Sutton Duff, and welcome back in to the channel. We got some things to talk about here, man. We got a lot of things to get into. It is a beautiful, might I add, Wednesday afternoon. I know I'm a little bit late on the live stream today. Had some things to take care of, but we here nonetheless. If you are watching live right now, big shout out to you. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. Now listen. I know we are in the dead of the offseason, but there's a reason why you need to keep on tuning in. You got to keep on tuning in. And real quick, shout out to my guys, Nitro and Coach. They were in here yesterday. And let me move over here to our screen. There we go. Here's what we're going to talk about, what we're here to talk about today. So let me not mince any words. Let me hop right into it. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Daniel Faalele is now a New York Giant. Daniel Faalele is now a New York Giant, and I could not be happier about it. Me personally, couldn't be happier about it. Now, here's what I'll say first. Right? Here's what I'll say first. I think that John Harbaugh has a fatal flaw. And that's in the thumbnail of this video for very, very good reason. Okay? Very, very good reason. John Harbaugh quite literally refuses to admit that he was wrong about one Daniel Faalele. Refuses to admit it. And it's the weirdest thing to me. That never was he able to move off of Daniel Faalele and stay off of Daniel Faalele. Now, am I happy that the Giants signed him? Yes. Because I know for a fact John Harbaugh was waking up in a cold sweat. He was waking up in a cold sweat. You know that Kendrick Lamar meme where like it's from the music video where he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how John Harbaugh probably was, waking up in the middle of the night like, I need my boy Faalele, my precious baby, Daniel Faalele. As you guys know, John Harbaugh has known Daniel Faalele since he was like a preteen. So Mr. Faalele holds a very special place in the hearts and minds of John Harbaugh. And while it is a little bit weird that it took, almost 2 months, right, for John Harbaugh to come to the conclusion that he wanted Daniel Faalele on his new team. Maybe he had to write up an essay, 3-4 paragraphs, do a PowerPoint presentation to Joe Sheen, Giants GM, and everybody else in that building, like, hey, here's why we should get Daniel Faalele. And he went and cherry-picked some of Daniel Faalele's best plays. That is the only explanation that I have for you. The only one, quite literally. Outside of that, I just don't see how the Giants could have something like this happen. I just don't. I don't see how it's beneficial for the Giants to sign Daniel Faalele. Now, I want to get into an article written by the New York Post, right? So it's like a New York kind of biased article, and I want to see what they're saying about it. But first, I want to go ahead and clap it up. I want to clap it up for the New York Giants. Shout out to y'all, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see Daniel Faalele follow suit with John Harbaugh and join the New York Giants. And we're going to get to see all season long. The hate watch just gets even better. It gets better and better, doesn't it? It gets better and better. I cannot complain, not one bit. So again, clap it up for the Giants, y'all. You're in for a ride. If you're a Giants fan watching this, you are in for a ride this season. And I don't mean a good one. I do not mean a good one by any stretch of the imagination. So listen, Here's what I got for you. Let me go ahead and switch over here. Let me switch scenes so we can. Here we go. Let's take a look at the New York Post article about Giants signing Daniel Faalele after he was the Ravens' lightning rod under John Harbaugh. I love the title of this article, by the way. So let's go ahead and read through this, shall we? Right? So, number one here. Number one. I can't get enough of this, man. This is absolutely hilarious to me. Um, It says John Harbaugh stuck by Daniel Faalele through 2 roller coaster seasons with the Ravens, and now the loyalty extends to the Giants. The Giants are signing Daniel Faalele to a 1-year contract. The Post confirmed, and will add the 6'8" former 4th-round pick into a right guard mix that includes Evan Neal, Josh Ezeudu, and Lucas Patrick. Faalele might actually have the edge, given that he started the final 34 games of Harbaugh's tenure with the Ravens. He became a lightning rod for disgruntled fans whose anger only grew each time that Harbaugh defended his play. And it says it sounds a lot like Neal's tenure, Evan Neal, that is, in New York. Though Evan Neal was a first-round pick whose durability became a problem, neither Neal or Ezeudu played a single snap last season. Daniel Faalele was ranked as the number 52 guard out of 79 in the NFL by PFF last season. He allowed 5 sacks and committed 8 penalties over the last 2 seasons combined. Let me see. It says here, the Giants and Faalele were in talks from the first days of free agency. And it says, but both sides waited to see how the market played out. The recent signings of Faalele and Patrick Ricard, who has 65 career starts, could spell the end of free agent Greg Van Rotten's tenure. He did not miss a snap in 2 years as a Giant starter. Now listen, the fact that, because I think the most interesting thing about this entire article is this little sentence right here. And I'll read it again. The Giants and Daniel Faalele were in talks from the first few days of free agency, but both sides waited to see how the market played out. So they've been talking for some weeks now. They've been talking for weeks. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. Need I remind you, this is nothing new, guys. Okay? Nothing new. And again, the fact that John Harbaugh had to wait and see if Daniel Faalele was going to get scooped up off of the free market for more money than the Giants were willing to pay for Daniel Faalele tells you that the Giants never wanted Daniel Faalele to begin with. John Harbaugh must have been the only person in that building who lobbied for Daniel Faalele to be a Giant. Had to have been. That's what this tells me. That's what this tells me. You know, Harbaugh from the first days of free agency, hey, look, let's go get my boy 77. Had him in Baltimore. He was great. I think he'd be a great addition to our offensive line right now. We have a question at right guard. Let's go get him. I've known this kid since he was 13, 14 years old. Trust me. Trust me. He's a good kid. And the Giants said, you know what? I mean, we get it, but I mean, a big reason why you got fired, Harbaugh, because you weren't willing to move off of this guy, and he was damn near getting Lamar killed. So, but if you say you want him, John, wait it out. And I'm talking as Giants general manager right now. If you say you want him, John, let's just wait it out. Let's see. Let's just make sure that nobody else is going to overpay for him. And if, a month from now, after free agency and things have kind of died down, then we can give him a call. Get him on a 1-year deal. No, this is not a multi-year deal. Just a 1-year deal, probably for pennies. Probably for pennies, if I had to guess. If I had to guess, Daniel Faalele is probably going to play for the New York Giants for pennies. Next to nothing. Ian Rappaport reported here earlier today the Giants continue to add their O-line before the draft, agreeing to terms with former Ravens guard Daniel Faalele on a 1-year deal. The 6'8" Faalele started every game of the last 2 seasons and has a familiarity with several coaches, including John Harbaugh. Now listen, another thing. Jackson Dart, you better strap up that chin strap tight. Real tight. Because it's about to get real spooky if Daniel Faalele is your starting guard. I saw in an article They said that Daniel Faalele excelled with power runs and a power run scheme. So when Daniel Faalele on a running play, he snaps the ball, he doesn't block the guy in front of him. He pulls out and pulls to the left, right? And gets the kick out block on whoever's crashing down the line of scrimmage. The problem with that is Daniel Faalele has extremely slow feet. And time again, we witnessed as Ravens fans, Daniel Faalele on power runs not be able to get to his spot on time enough to block a guy who's trying to bring down Derrick Henry in the backfield. We saw this on numerous occasions. So yes, while Daniel Faalele is a behemoth of a man, like I said the other day, he's got the skills of a school bus. Okay, it's just, like I said, Jackson Dart, strap up that chin strap. You're going to need it, buddy. Cam Scatterboo, strap it up. You're going to need that chin strap this year, especially if Daniel Faalele is going to be your starter. It's going to be a whole lot of getting hit in the backfield, tackles for losses. But don't say we didn't try to tell you. As Ravens fans, don't say we did not try to tell you. But again, my actual feelings on this, man, thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you for being consistent, at least, and not playing in Ravens fans' faces. I'm still mad you didn't pursue Zach Orr. Don't think I forgot about that. You let Zach Orr go off to, who's he with? I think he's with Las Vegas now. I think he's with Vegas. Somewhere out on the West Coast, Zach Orr is right now. Still mad you didn't get him. But you did scoop up Daniel Faalele. So at least you were consistent there. At least you were consistent there. Let me read the chat really quick. I didn't even see who's in the live chat today. Make sure you guys like the video if you are in here. Appreciate that. King Blaze is in here, says, yo, what's going on, King Blaze? Kai Runson says, what's good, Sutton? What's going on, brother? We got D. Wilkinson in the house. It's a celebration, brother. Hey, listen again. Clap it up. Clap it up for the Giants and John Harbaugh. Clap it up for the John Harbaugh Giants, man. Clap it up for him. I love this for them. If you're a Giants fan, again, listening to this, I love this for you. I love this for you. And if you're a Ravens fan, you know the hate watch only gets sweeter and sweeter by the day. By the day. Who else we got in here? 77 finally out of my city. Thank God, man. He was already gone. He was a free agent. He was never bringing him back, guys. Yeah. I mean, would I have been surprised if Eric DeCosta was like, oh, Daniel Faalele's still out there. Nobody's re-signed him yet. We can get him on a super cheap. We can bring him back on a super cheap deal. I would not put it past Mr. DeCosta to do such a thing. I would not. Okay, I would not. So let me see. Monty says we're finally free from 77. Exactly. Rome Raven, what up, Rome? Says the fact that the entire Ravens fan base let out a huge sigh of relief that 77 is officially gone should worry the crap out of the Giants. Listen, man, I know for one thing's for sure. One thing is for sure, two things are for certain. I will be all over the Giants fan base forums. I'll be all over their social media accounts on game days and stuff like that, especially when Faalele misses a crucial block or something like that. I'm going to be in the Reddit channels. I'm going to be in all that. Because I need to make sure that I'm not crazy. It's for my own sanity. Right? I'm glad we got rid of that headache, though. So glad. Glaucoma, what up? What up, Glaucoma? Christian in the house. We got a member in the house. What's going on? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Let me see. Tiger Raven, what's up? Dylan, what's going on, Dylan? Long time no see, man. And also, shout out to everybody who's watching after the fact. If you're part of the hashtag replay gang on this one, thank you so much for coming through to this episode of Quiet Storm Sports on PRP. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you are new. Showcase says Harb's really trying to run it back. Well, he was really trying to run it back in Baltimore. He said, no, let me keep Zach Orr, let me keep Todd Monken, let me keep Daniel Faalele. All the things that are seemingly holding us back. Let's run it back. Let's do it again. Haven't had enough heartbreak yet. That's what John Harbaugh said. And Steve Bisciotti said, okay. Sorry, bro, but you got to go. And the rest is history. World class says, thank God, man. We used to pray for times like this, didn't we? We used to pray for times like this. I don't know what position they're going to have him at. I would assume they still have him at guard because they have questions, the Giants do. They have questions at guard. It's going to be a big competition, or maybe not. Maybe John's just like, hey, look, this is my guy. Plug and play him here. At the end of the day, John's the head coach. So if he wants Faalele to start, he believes in Faalele. As of right now, that right guard job is probably Daniel Faalele's to lose. And I get it. I know Evan Neal is there, but Giants fans already feel a way about Evan Neal. He's coming off of an injury. So I could very well see Daniel Faalele being the starting right guard for the New York Giants in week 1. I could see it. I could. Somebody's saying, I guess you're saying Zach Orr is with Seattle. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Zach is with Seattle. Got you. I knew it was somewhere on the West Coast. I knew that. I knew it was somewhere on the West Coast. Let me see. No Luck ISO. Salute, brother. Void with the super chat donation. Appreciate you, brother, making it rain here on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Void says, watch him become an all-pro player after leaving. Nothing would piss me off more. Nothing would piss me off more if Daniel Faalele went from being a bottom 25 percentile guard to a top 75 percentile guard. That would piss me off, legitimately. And listen, guys, like, not to say that every single rep Daniel Faalele had in Baltimore was bad. I'm not saying that. But his losses were so... It was crazy, bro. I mean, his losses were so loud. They were so loud and just so obvious because he's so big, mainly, right? You see a guy that big getting ragdolled by linebackers, getting mixed up by linebackers, by defensive tackles. I remember Jared Verse on one play, literally, and I mean literally, just slaps him into the ground off the snap. Daniel Faalele has his hand in the dirt, but he's not quick enough to get up and face up with Jared Verse. And Jared Verse just uses one hand, slaps him right down into the dirt. I wish I had that play. I'd play it, on film for you guys right now, but it just goes to show he's too big, but he's way too slow. He's nowhere near as athletic as he needs to be to play guard. It's not just about size. It's not just about size. It's about athleticism and it's about skill. So, listen, man, I'm sure that John Harbaugh, he called up Daniel Faalele, said, hey, look, how would you like to come up, 3-4 hours up the road, play in New York? And Faalele went and gave John Harbaugh a big old hug. Because Faalele loves to hug. Give Harbaugh a big old hug. And I can't wait to see him hugging dudes this next season. Pause. Can't wait to see it. Another super chat donation. This one's coming from Monty. Shout out to you, Monty. Appreciate you dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Says, watch they move him to tackle and he becomes all pro. I just don't think he's nowhere near athletic enough for tackle. You have to be even more athletic at tackle than you have to be at guard or center. Because when you're playing out on the edge like that, you're on an island. You have no help. At least if you're a guard, you have help from the center. If you're a right guard, you have help from the center. If you're a center, you have help from both guards. But if you're a tackle, especially a left tackle for a right-handed quarterback, you got to protect that blind side on an island against a stud athlete who probably runs a 4.4. I'm talking about a lot of these, NFL edge rushers who runs a 4.4, 4.5, really great torque and bend. And you got to get out of your stance and shuffle your way towards them and not get put in the blender. Can you just again, imagine Daniel Faalele at tackle, blocking the likes of, I don't know, Rashawn Gary, blocking the likes of, or even if he's at guard. Can you imagine Daniel Faalele having to go head up with a Jordan Davis, with a Jalen Carter? Oh, he's going to get destroyed. No matter where you put him on the line, he's going to get destroyed. And again, I'll be right there watching. I will be right there watching. We will be there. Okay? We will be there. And he did play tackle in college in Minnesota. He played a little bit of tackle for the Ravens. Played a little bit of tackle for the Ravens before the Ravens said, you know what? We think you'd be better at guard. He wasn't. He wasn't. He was not. Two cheeks of the same ass, the very same ass. Yep. Let me see. If they do two-step dropbacks and make the edge rushers have to go through Faalele, it could work with everybody but Miles and Max. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, though. I disagree. Because I feel like all it takes is just one simple pass rush move. One spin. You know what I mean? I just think he's gonna get put in the blender. No matter if I get it. You don't want to have your quarterback doing a 3-step, 4-step, 5-step drop. You know what I'm saying? And that way, Daniel Faalele, he can kind of force his guy back towards the inside to get to the quarterback, and he can get help from the left guard that way, and he can use his big body to kind of wall off the lane to the quarterback. I get it, world class. I do. I see you in the chat. But again, on a lot of these shotgun plays, 3rd and longs, things like that, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Jackson Dart's gonna have to drop back deep. Give himself time to find somebody open. And again, especially against some of these bigger defensive tackles that they have. Again, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, when they play the Eagles twice, you're not going to be able to take a two-step drop. You're not. Because that pocket's going to get pushed in your lap if you do. You're going to have to back up. Either way, Faalele is food. He's food. Nolan Smith, right. He's food. That's all it is. Man. But you know what? I know I'm sitting here crapping on him, but wish him nothing but the best, man. He's not with us anymore. If he does pan out and become a top 20 guard, top 10 guard in this league, so be it, man. I think that would be a huge indictment. And I say I mean it, a huge indictment on George Warhop. Does George Warhop have a job? Does anybody know? Let me see something. Is George Warhop coaching right now? Let me see. Is he a free agent? Oh, he's an O-line coach for the Browns now. Wow. Okay. All right. George Warhop. In case you guys didn't know, it's right here. George Warhop is an American football coach who was the offensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns of the NFL. And he did a very bang-up job last year with the Ravens. So I'm surprised that the Browns, who watched the Ravens so closely, decided to bring him over, unless it was just by Todd Monken's blessing. That shocks me, baffles me, befuddles me. I don't get it. But hey, look, more power to him. Right? Can't be mad at him. But listen, let me go ahead and move on here. Let's move on. What else did I have for you guys here? Oh, we got a lot, actually. So there has been multiple pressers and things like that. And another one happened today where you had Scott Elliott, who was the strength and conditioning coach for the Ravens. You had Kyle Hamilton. You had Zay Flowers, and you had Mark Andrews, all speak to the media today. And kind of like the gist of what you got from them speaking today is that vibes are high in the castle right now. And there's a couple of things. There's a couple of key things that I feel like not a whole lot of people are talking about. I haven't seen a whole lot of people in the Ravens creator space talk about this today. And I'm going to get into in just a few minutes here after I play this video here from the Ravens that kind of shows you what's going on right now. Let's take a listen.
This team as they build towards the upcoming season. everything has really been pointed to right now, the start of these workouts and building the team in a way that maximizes this time during the voluntary portion of the offseason. These workouts started on Monday for the Ravens, and there was really strong attendance from key veterans like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Kyle Hamilton, Mark Andrews, and many others. And we had a chance to talk with some of those guys today. They discussed the energy in this facility and how the new coaching staff is quickly establishing a rapport with the players.
It's a new energy. Everybody get to restart with a new coaching staff. We lost a lot of people, and we're probably gonna gain a lot of people at the same time. So everybody just learning at the same time and building a new bond and relationship with coaches.
Look at my guy Zay, incline pressing those 50s, man.
That's
how I be
to
in the
build
gym.
Relationships with us.
Coaching staff has been awesome.
And Tez right
Just
next
stepping
to
in
him,
here,
same
the
thing.
energy. It feels really, really good. I'm excited about going forward, getting better, and working towards our goal. And these guys are fired up, so I'm excited about it.
Mark, you got one more year, Mark. That's what I'm gonna say about Mark Andrews. You got one more year. I need another one of those 10 touchdown seasons out of you. I need you to be a red zone demon this year, Mark.
They're always preaching communication, and they've done that since the last couple of months. It's communication. And so,
And I do love that. Communication is key. Way too many times last season. I don't know if you guys remember. I'm talking about defense specifically. It did happen on offense a couple times too. But defense specifically, way too many times. Pre-snap, you got guys looking left and right, north and south, just trying to figure out, okay, what's the play? Like, what are we doing? Like, are you supposed to be over here? Is this your assignment? Is this my assignment? The next thing you know, they get torched downfield. Offense, it happened to them as well. I don't know if you guys remember, it was against the Steelers. Yeah, it was against the Steelers in that first game. Yeah, in the first game. First game against the Steelers last year, the Ravens have 4th and goal, I believe it was, or 3rd and goal, one of the two, from like the 3-yard line. And what we learned was John Harbaugh could not get the play from Todd Monken because of communication issues, and they just kind of ran anything, and Derrick Henry got tackled in the backfield for a loss of like 3 or 4 yards. So communication is definitely key. And this is another reason why I said earlier in the offseason when we hired Declan Doyle and Anthony Weaver, I want those guys on the field. Because you talk about communication, you get the best communication when you're bumping shoulders with somebody, not when you have to talk to them on the phone. Way different. Way different. Let me finish listening to this video, though.
I think for all of us, just taking this time to bond, chemistry, all that stuff is going to be good.
He cares a lot about the process.
Come on, Ro. I'm gonna need you to come on, Ro. That midsection concerns me. I'm not gonna lie to you. That midsection concerns me just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I need Ro to really be on his stuff this season. I need him to be, again, not just a gap filler and stopping the run. I need him to be instinctive. I need him to be a wrecking ball. And he wasn't that last season. Honestly, we haven't seen Roquan Smith be Roquan Smith since the 2023 AFC Championship game. That was the last time. That was the last time we saw Roquan Smith actually be Roquan Smith. Let me see. Keto says, what's going on? Appreciate you for being a member. Says, I need QB1 to be doing some better pull-ups. He needs to be stronger. I mean, those pull-ups are not sweet. Not easy. Not easy. Let me see. Mark looked like a deputy sheriff is crazy. Crazy.
And the learning process, especially. Obviously, right now, we're not out there playing football, and we're just in the meeting room, and that can get a little mundane from time to time, but keeps guys engaged just by, painting the picture of what you're going to do when you're here, how many guys can play different positions and all this other stuff. And he explains it in a very elementary way that kind of can become like a master's level once we get in camp and hopefully be on the season.
Now,
That's interesting, though. That's interesting. He said that mentor kind of explains things in an elementary way. Like, you're a really good teacher of something when you could teach the same thing to a 5-year-old and they get it. They understand. You know, making sure that your players understand and overstand your concepts, your schemes, your way of going about things. That's super important. That's super important because it gets guys on the same page a lot quicker. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more here in a few minutes, but let me just finish this out.
In this building, you really can feel the energy. Players are eager to get out there and go through these workouts. They're eager to learn the offense.
Oh, man, Big Trey with the chain.
Defense and get a feel
Chain
for the
gang
new coaches.
Trey. Let's go.
All of that is contagious, and it's putting the Ravens in a
We need some new nickname. We need a nickname for Trey Hendrickson. I like Chain Gang Trey. I also like Mr. Incredible because I think he looks like Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles.
great spot going into the rest of this offseason program and then ultimately to training camp and into the season. Now we have a full breakdown on everything that we heard today from key guys including Kyle Hamilton, Mark Andrews, Zay Flower, and our strength and conditioning coach, Scott Elliott. We dive into all of that on the newest episode of the Lounge Podcast, so make sure you subscribe.
All right. Garrett Downing. So, again, seems like vibes are high right now. But one thing that I really wanted to talk about, where is it at? It's right here. Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers said this. He was speaking on what it was like when the Ravens players walked into the building for the first time with Jesse Minter, Doyle, Weaver, and the preparedness. He spoke to the preparedness of the coaching staff when the players got in. Let's listen.
Was ready, like everything, like from the plays to the formations, like everything was already set. They PowerPoints, everything was hitting on head. How we gonna learn the plays, what we gonna do, what type of offense we gonna have. Like we learned that from day one. But I was coming back and forth. Like I came back every week, and I stopped by Coach Jesse and Coach Declan. I stopped by the office all the.
Real quick, I don't know who told Zay Flowers that Declan Doyle's name was pronounced Declan. I mean, I'm sure by now he's listened to media reports and he's probably spoken with Declan Doyle and he's heard his name be pronounced multiple times, but for some reason he's pronouncing his first name Declan. I thought that was kind of funny.
Time, like once a week, I try to stop by and talk to him. They was ready, like everything, like from the plays to the formations, like everything was already set. They PowerPoints, everything was hitting on.
That's very encouraging to hear. That's very encouraging to hear. Zay Flowers basically saying that, like, as soon as they got in the building, everything was ready. The plays, the schemes, like how they want to teach things. And so it feels like if the Ravens coaching staff, again, if the Ravens coaching staff is doing all of this due diligence in April, and according to Zay, they've been doing this for weeks now. So back up into March, they've been getting things together as they should. I'm sure any new head coach and any new coaching staff would come in and have things prepared. But it's important for the Ravens because the Ravens have to hit the ground running. The Ravens can ill afford to have a ramping up period, if you know what I mean. They can't afford to start the season 3-3. They can't afford to miss the playoffs again. They can't afford to even have a first round exit. All of that would be a failure of a season. So in order to ensure that this team who has all of the pieces, I mean, minus a select few, which of course I'm hoping we patch up in the draft, in order to ensure a team of this caliber that has this much firepower personnel-wise, that they can reach their, the zenith of the sport, which is the Super Bowl, you have to start working as early as possible. And Zay Flowers says that's what they're doing. They were prepared. They could have easily, not been ready by this moment, not been on the same page as coaches and got the guys in the building and said, you know what, we're still working on, how we want to build out this offense and defense and scheme and our plays and stuff like that. So, we're just here kind of talking to each other as a little meet and greet here. And, we're going to do some workouts outside and in the facilities. No. Zay Flowers said they were prepared. PowerPoints, everything. And that doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me at all because Jesse Minter is a guy who has a lot of attention to detail. Declan Doyle, as we know, in Chicago, he was an absolute tape grinder for Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson would tell Declan Doyle, hey, look, I got to go worry about the defense and all the politics around the team, stuff like that. I need you to stay at the facility late tonight, grind all this tape, get the game plan together, and present it to me. And Declan Doyle said, yeah, I can do that. Stayed up all night, pulled some late nighters. And I think he's doing the same thing for the Ravens here. And that's why the Ravens are so prepared. And that's what Zay Flowers is talking about. Love it. Love it. I think that is probably the most underrated piece of news that came out of this entire, and I mean this entire press conference that the Ravens held today. One more thing that Zay Flowers said that really piqued my interest. He talked about Tez Walker. He says here, and I quote, Tez is ready. He's attacking everything. He knows there's a fire under him. Now listen, I know that Ravens fans across the flock have been clamoring for the Ravens to, pay Zay Flowers, draft Jordan Tyson. If Tate falls, get him. I've been a big proponent of go out and take a big swing for A.J. Brown, all this stuff. But I think that Tez Walker will see a much, much bigger role this year. I think he will. I brought up the Bears target distribution a couple of episodes ago. It looked vastly different from the target distribution for the Ravens. Target distribution for the Ravens was Zay Flowers up here, getting all these targets. Mark Andrews right underneath him. And everybody else is way beneath that. With the Bears, it was very spread out. So I'm assuming, and I get it, assuming can make an ass out of you and me, so we'll have to see. But I'm assuming that Declan Doyle is going to do his due diligence to get Tez Walker and Rashad Bateman way more involved in this offense and truly threaten every inch of the field like Todd Monken said he wanted to do. Truly. And, Tez is the type of receiver that perfectly fits with Lamar. He's a big game hunting receiver. He's a deep threat. I think it was a crazy stat. 25% of his catches or 30% of his catches are touchdowns, something like that. Maybe even higher. It seemed like every time he caught the ball, it was for a big play or a touchdown. We've seen him catch, deep balls. We've seen him catch, passes in the end zone. We've seen him in the preseason. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Ravens played the Cowboys in the preseason last year. And for at least 2 drives, Cooper Rush was just repeatedly going back to Tez Walker. And Tez Walker was showing up. And I get it, it's preseason sudden. You gotta take that with a grain of salt. Cool. I understand. But even in the season, Tez Walker, when he made himself available to Lamar found him. Tez Walker made big plays. And the fact that Zay Flowers is saying that, look, he's attacking everything. And he knows there's a fire under him. Because, Tez, what is he in his 3rd year? He's going to his 3rd year? Yeah, he's going into his 3rd season. He's going into year 3. It's about time for him to put up or shut up. Hey, you want that second contract? Everything that comes your way, yeah, you better be attacking it. And I think that's what he's going to do. So that was another really big piece of news that came out of today's presser. Something else. So they also talked about, and I'll just touch on this really quick here. They talked about Nnamdi Madubuike, and to be honest with you guys, I am extremely tired of talking about Nnamdi Madubuike and getting these updates that aren't actually updates about him. Because it's like, 1 week we see Madubuike working out on IG. Then the next week we see Eric DeCosta saying, I can't talk about Nnamdi Madubuike, but we're talking to him. The next week we hear Jesse Minter talking about we can't talk about that, but he's in good spirits, whatever. Now today we hear Scott Elliott say that he's been working his tail off. These are his words, not mine. He says that he's been working his tail off, but still no real concrete update on whether or not he's going to play. So at this point, I've thrown my hands up to the situation. Like, if he's going to play, cool. We'll see. I got to wait to see. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. I really hope they sign D Hop back for the vet in the wide receiver room, and he still has gas in the tank left. I agree. And I've been saying that. I agree. I mean, they probably will bring in a vet wide receiver as they normally do. Why not run it back with D Hop? Lamar's comfortable with him. He bailed Lamar out on a couple of occasions last season. He's still got some gas left in the tank. I say go get him. I do. I see LeJohntay Wester being brought up. Let me see. Last year, LeJohntay Wester was Cooper Rush security blanket. They were practicing second team together. Cooper knew what he had. I've heard a lot of people bigging up LeJohntay Wester, even D Hop. D Hop said it as well. I mean, gotta wait and see. You know, a lot of mouths to feed on the offense. And while, like I said, I think Declan Doyle is going to be able to have the Ravens offense spread things around a little bit more than they did last year. But LeJohntay Wester is kind of far down on the priority list, if I had to imagine. He's behind Tez. He's behind Bateman. He's behind Zay. He's behind Mandrews. He's behind probably whatever tight end we bring in. You know, whether that be draft or if we get somebody else free agency, I don't know. But he's behind a lot of guys. LeJohntay Wester is. So I do see, him being a huge part of the special teams. But in terms of pass catching, it's going to be few and far between. Few and far between. So just be ready for that. Just be ready for that. We might not see LeJohntay get unlocked in the way that we might see Tez or Bateman, Last on the list. Yeah, you last on the list, man. Let me see. Easy says, okay, but it still makes no sense. They're on the team together, and Zay is not premium enough for that much praise. Wester's going to be our full-time return man. And Mad Ross is laughing at me about Bateman. Hey, listen, man. I'll tell you like this about Rashad Bateman. Let me put it to you like this, Mad Roster. Put Rashad Bateman on the Detroit Lions. Put Rashad Bateman on the LA Rams. Put Rashad Bateman on the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Put Rashad Bateman with Joe Burrow. And no, this is not a slight to Lamar Jackson. It's a slight to how the Ravens want to run their offense. Right? The Ravens love, and Lamar Jackson loves as well. You got to admit this. They love their smaller receivers and their tight ends. They just do. Okay, they just do. I can't think of one big body wide receiver that they got in their prime or pseudo prime, whatever you want to call it, since Anquan Bolden. I just can't. Everybody else that they've gotten, Steve Smith Sr., you can argue about him. He's just an anomaly. Steve Smith Sr., Hollywood Brown, Zay Flowers, you know what I mean? Those are the type of guys they go after. Rashad Bateman does not fit in the Ravens scheme. He just doesn't. If he went somewhere else, we wouldn't be having this conversation about him. He'd probably be one of the top maybe 15 receivers in the league. And I stand on that. Because he has all the tools. He just never gets to get in a rhythm. Ever. Again, target distribution is either Zay, Mark, or Lamar says, I'll just find somebody else. That's what it is. Bateman would not be on the bench. He would not be on the bench. Bateman would not start on those teams. Yes, he would. He would. I guarantee you he would. It's to the point now where, I love me some Rashad Bateman, but I kind of hope that eventually he goes to another team. If we can't maximize what he has to offer this year, I hope he goes somewhere else. And I hope he balls out. I do. If you get him with a quick release quarterback who is going to have that ball en route to him as he's coming out of his break, he's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast because that's what he excels at. man coverage, zone coverage, he can get open. You look at his separation stats, he can get open. But if you don't get a wide receiver in a rhythm and they go into games knowing like, hey, look, I'm not going to be a focal point of this game, it does something to their psyche. I know we say, all receivers are divas. I don't think that that's necessarily true. But I think what is true is for a guy to play a position that's so dependent on so many other things going right, if that guy's not getting intentional targets, his morale is going to be low and it's going to show up in his play. And I think that's what we're seeing with Rashad Bateman. So I disagree with you. I think he would start on some of these other teams and he would quickly show why he is a high-end wide receiver 2 and potentially could even be a 1. I mean, he for damn sure looked like a wide receiver 1 when we first drafted him and he was available to play when he was first healthy. You guys forget, he was a certified chain mover. He was a certified chain mover. He was a deep threat. Then he got hurt, came back, and it was like, oh, Bateman, you're back. But now we've got Zay Flowers, right? Now we've got, of course, we already had Mark Andrews. Now we've got Isaiah Likely. Oh, now plug in Derrick Henry. Even less opportunities. He's just buried down on the priority list when it comes to the offense. That's all. That's all. Name me one tool Rashad Bateman does not have as a wide receiver. Name me one thing. Okay, maybe he's not the biggest 50-50 ball guy. Maybe he's not the biggest 50-50 ball guy. That's fine. If you want to say that, I'll take that. But outside of that, Bateman can do pretty much everything. He can do pretty much everything. Let me see. You think Bateman will be a number 1, but Zay is not a number 1. Something to even hear yourself talk for real. Glaucoma. No, you're my guy. No, you're my guy. No, you're my guy. This ain't it. This ain't it, my boy. It's not. Okay? That's not it. And no, Zay is not a number 1. Most people across the league would agree with me on that. He's not a number 1. He's a high-end wide receiver 2. High-end wide receiver 2. All right, let me see. He's a legit deep threat, in my opinion. I agree. Hey, Afia, what's going on? You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. We'll see this year. I'm betting on Bateman. Again, it's not to say that I hate Zay Flowers or anything like that. That's never what I'm saying, guys. I'm just saying that he's not a 3-level wide receiver. Okay? He's not a guy who can threaten you in the red zone. Right? He's not a consistent deep threat. And he's not a really good zone beater either. He's not. Zay Flowers said himself today, he's got to step up and take things to the next level and be a leader. And I think that's true. To be a wide receiver 1, if you're getting that type of target share, I need to see 6 points on the board more often. I need to see it. I'm sorry. I don't need you to have just 2 more touchdowns than fumbles total on the season. I don't need you to go 12 straight games without scoring a touchdown. I don't need that. Right? If you're going to be a wide receiver 1, I need wide receiver 1 type of production. And I get, Sutton, but he had 1,200 yards. Sure. With over a third of the target share. I would hope he would have over 1,200 yards. I would hope so. But I'm going to get off that. We talked about that at length yesterday. Let me see what else we had here. I saw this online. So the Ravens are emerging as the favorites to land tight end David Njoku per Sports Illustrated. With Isaiah Likely gone, Baltimore compare Njoku with Mark Andrews to rebuild the tight end room. And listen, guys, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when David Njoku came to visit Baltimore. Obviously, he left without a contract. But I don't think that means that the Ravens won't end up signing him. I don't. I don't. Let me see. If you want to be critical of anyone on this team, be critical of Mark Andrews. He had the second most targets and does nothing. Yeah, I could definitely be critical of Mark Andrews as well. Like I said earlier in the show, Andrews, you got one more shot. You got one more shot with your boy Sutton. You know, we got rid of Likely. You're going into the season healthy. You got a new offensive coordinator, a rejuvenated Lamar Jackson. I need to see 10 plus touchdowns. I need to see him be a red zone threat again this year. I do. Love Zay, but we need someone else to step up. I agree. Get the tight ends in the draft. Yeah, I also agree with that too. I mean, the tight ends in the draft is a very deep class this year when it comes to tight ends. The Ravens are good at drafting tight ends. Chef Spicy Rice says we have $30 million cap space. Why not sign Njoku? See, I'm not going to be mad if we do sign him, but I'm also not going to be mad if we don't, because I know if we get somebody in the draft, we can develop that person and basically have him for free for the next 3 to 4 years. And that's what Chef Spicy Rice says here. Honestly, value-wise, you get Michael Trigg or Justin Jolie would be nice. Yeah, I totally think they're going to go for a tight end. Probably, I would say, 4th round. We talked yesterday, me, Coach, and Nitro, shout out to them, about the prospect of getting Kenyon Sadiq, which I don't agree with drafting a tight end that high. I think that would be a massive reach. And you got to keep the main thing. First things first, build that wall. You build that wall, everything else follows, right? Then that 3rd round, that 4th round tight end becomes way more effective when Lamar has time to get them the ball. So again, this is one of those things for me. If they bring in Njoku, cool. If they don't, awesome. Go ahead and draft somebody, but build that wall first. Build that wall first. That's all it is. Browns drafted a great tight end. Yeah, they got Harold Fannin Jr. last year. He balled out for him. All right, let's see. What else we got here? Tell you what, take a quick break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. We're going to talk a little bit about these uniforms and what they might look like here. Back in a jiff. This is Quiet Storm Sports. All right, and we are back. Now let's go ahead and get into these uniforms. Obviously, the Ravens announced yesterday that they will be dropping new uniforms on April 16th. And I wanted to bring up a post here by Hero KB. He's a designer and the director of Archetype Athletes. He has worked with Nike in the past and also worked with the Oregon Ducks in some capacity with their uniforms and things like that. So he said here in this tweet, he said, "It's wild, but I sent some things a while back to the Ravens VP of marketing and equipment guy. Since they are coming, I may as well drop what was sent to them. Hashtag Ravens Flock. It's story time. Let's get to it. Enjoy the read a thread." So he basically kind of fleshed out an entire jersey design, like a mock-up design for the Ravens, and sent it to the Ravens. And some of the things that he put in his designs lines up with some of the other rumors that we heard, like the iridescent accents and things like that. And then also like the talons, the wings. So let's go ahead and read through this thread here. And I want you guys to kind of go through with me and see what you like and what you don't like. Because there's some things in here that I actually really, really do enjoy. So this apparently was his mood board for it. Super dope. You know, you got the birds who I guess they're trying to look more ominous and more fierce and stuff like that. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. What do we have here? So here's what the evolved version, according to this guy, of the Ravens logo would look. This is what he submitted to the Ravens. Now, will the Ravens actually end up going with this design? Obviously, on the left is the current Ravens logo, but in the middle and on the right-hand side of the screen are these logos that he has designed for them. And on the first glance, right, if we take a look at this, on the first glance, what do you guys think of this logo? Somebody rate it 1 through 10 in the chat. If you're part of the replay gang on this one, put it down below in the comments. Do you like, love, or hate this logo? Rate it 1 through 10, whatever you want to do. To me, and I said this on a YouTube short yesterday, on first glance, on the very first glance, it kind of looks like AI slop. It does, doesn't it? It looks like you typed in a prompt in a chat GPT and said, hey, look, make the Ravens logo and put it on this shirt, right? It looks like it mangled it up a little bit. It tried. It mangled it up a little bit and spit this out. In the same breath, though, I don't hate it because I get what they were going for. You take the little eye out of the bird, you give it like an all red eye, and it makes it look a little bit more fierce, a little bit more intimidating, if that's what they were going for. Like the current Baltimore bird is just like kind of just kind of It looks like it goes on a kid's lunchbox, you know. But this new Evolve logo that the guy brought up, it looks a lot more fierce, but at the same time, also kind of looks like AI slop. So would I want this on the Ravens jerseys myself or on the helmets myself? No, I wouldn't, because it's way too close to the original and it looks a tad bit sloppier. Even just the overall shape of it looks a little bit sloppier. But let's move on, though. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the numbers. Now, if you guys remember, they said that the rumor is the accents on the jerseys are going to be iridescent, right? And the accents is going to be basically like the outlines around the numbers where you see the gold here. There's going to be a couple of pieces, maybe like on the pant legs and stuff like that. They're going to be iridescent gold. They're going to reflect. And I can only imagine, if this were to be true, guys, I can only imagine going to a game, or matter of fact, scratch that because you don't get the best view of the jerseys while you're actually at the game. I can only imagine watching a Sunday night football, Thursday night football, or Monday night football game at home, a primetime game, under the lights, and you have either all purple jerseys, all black jerseys, all white jerseys, whatever they want to do, but with these iridescent gold numbers popping off under the lights. I can only imagine how sweet that would look. I can only imagine. By the way, the shape of the numbers as well, love it. Huge fan. Absolute huge fan. Chef Spicy Rice says, I need some uniforms with aura. This would be aura. These numbers with the gold outline, I don't see how you top that. Afia says, yeah, I like that dark side. I don't know about the bird, Afia, but I do like these numbers. These numbers, again, 10 out of 10 for me, no notes. 10 out of 10. These are hard. Glaucoma says the bird is on Ozempic. Yeah, the bird looks a little bit wonky. I'm not going to lie. Marine Gamer, what's going on, Marine Gamer? Says all white with purple outline, born again Ravens. Let me see. Iridescent purple is a vibe. It is. Big Cuz, what's going on, Big Cuz? Shout out to you. All right, let's keep it moving here. What else has he got? Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All black jerseys. Just imagine. You guys know those all black practice jerseys that the Ravens, in training camp, they wear them every single year. And every single year, the entire fan base is like, where can we buy these jerseys? And they never put them on the market. Now, just imagine those jerseys with the gold outlining on the numbers. Take my money. Take all of my money. I promise you, I promise you, if the Ravens drop all blacks with these font numbers, with the gold iridescent around them, I'm buying a Lamar jersey in all black. I'm going to get a Kyle Hamilton jersey in all white. And outside of that, I don't really know who else I would get. Maybe a Nate Wiggins. Maybe it's got to be somebody who's going to be here for the long run. I'm even hesitant to get a Derrick Henry. But yeah, Lamar, Hamilton, Nate, I'd get those guys. And we would definitely be doing some giveaways right here on PRP for our members. That's one thing. I'm going to call this right now. I'm going to call this right here, right now on Quiet Storm Sports. So if you're here, listen up. The moment these jerseys go on sale, these new jerseys go on sale, whatever they may look like, we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway for our members. I do not care. We will be doing a giveaway. So if you are a member on the channel, you will automatically qualify for that. And it's just next week, man. I assume as soon as they drop these, they're going to be for sale. And when they go on sale, again, we're doing a giveaway. Afia. Defending the castle. That colorway will be crazy. Crazy. Jeremiah, what up? I'm getting a custom 77 is wild. That's crazy. But nah, this is hard, though. This is hard. Let's keep it moving. Damn, I like those numbers. The uniform. So the details here. So this was another rumor. This was another very, very popular rumor. And it's crazy, again, that like all this guy's designs that he sent to the team months ago, right? Months ago, they aligned with some of the rumors we've been hearing. And one of those rumors was that instead of having Ravens on the chest plate right here above the number, it's going to say Baltimore. It's going to say Baltimore. And I love that. I absolutely love that. There needs to be more representation for the city. I agree. Some rumors have also said they're going to incorporate the Baltimore flag on it as well. I'm like, all right, well, let's not do too much. Let's not get carried away here, But I wouldn't mind it. You also see the talon on the sleeve here, the black talon right there. And then they have what they call the speed feather pant stripe. I like that too. Again, the gold accents are everything to me. Let's keep it moving here. Let me see here. So can't really see too much on this page. I'll keep scrolling. All right, so here is the home uniform mock-up. What are we thinking? Because I'm thinking this looks sweet. It looks good, but it looks a little bit unfinished. It looks a little plain to me. Just a little bit. And of course, again, guys, listen, this is not the confirmed. These aren't the confirmed uniforms, but this is from a designer who has worked closely with Nike in Oregon, and he's already submitted these designs to the Ravens officially, right? Now, again, whether that actually comes to fruition, we'll see. We have to wait and see. Marine Gamer, what's going on, brother? Thank you for dropping the $2 super chat donation. Appreciate that, brother. Making it rain here on Quiet Storm of Sports. Says salute. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Salute to everybody who sent a super chat donation on this episode of the show. We appreciate that truly. Of course, as you guys know, the more donations you guys send and the memberships and things like that, that money goes right back into the channel. As a lot of you guys know, I just upgraded my computer setup not too long ago. Again, that is thanks to you guys. Again, salute to all of the Rain Gang who supports the channel, whether it be monetarily, whether it be with the views, whether it be with your likes. Likes are a huge thing. It pushes us out to a whole new audience and opens up opportunities for us here at PRP. So I appreciate you so much, Marine Gamer. And again, everybody who supports the channel in all different ways. But yes, these jerseys right here, man, I mean, as a home jersey, I don't mind it. Again, I just think it's missing something. It's just missing something. Numbers are great. I think that the helmet, again, with that logo on it, I'm not the hugest fan, but overall, it's not bad. You can see right here kind of the breakdown of the kit. Nah, man. I mean, it'd be hard to argue with like that looking, not good. I love that. Let's keep it moving though. So now this is cold. Now that's cold right there. So this all white, right? All white. You still got the gold accents, but purple everywhere else. Purple on the socks, purple on the sleeve, purple on the helmet. Of course, still purple on the number. This goes hard. Only thing I would change is like on the shoulder pad. The shoulder pad, we got to add something there because again, it just feels like it's missing something. Maybe that's where you can add like the black talons, or maybe make them purple on the white. I'm not sure, but I like this. I like this. That's ice cold right there. I like that. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. It looks like the Vikings. Asmodeus, what's going on, brother? So that's fresh. It is. It is. It's very clean. Very clean. But yes, it's missing something. I agree with you. It's missing something. For sure. Maybe that's where they can put in because like I said, they were gonna do the flag. I feel like you do the flag somewhere on the shoulder pad and just maybe lower the opacity of it. I'm not sure. I'm not a designer myself, but you know, I'm not. I think that would look good though. I think that would look good. See what we got here. Okay, so that's the details kit. Nate Wiggins. I can only imagine, dude. I can only imagine. The helmet would have to be iridescent as well, though. There would have to be iridescent elements on the helmet. But that's gonna look good though. It's gonna look damn good. Creative player vibe for sure though. For sure though. Let me see. The all blacks. Sexy. Love that. Love that. Can you imagine? Again, man, imagine these jerseys under the lights. I would love it. I would love it. So, and this is a combo sheet to show all of the possibilities here. This looks like, and I get what you guys are saying. It kind of giving the Minnesota Vikings. Honestly, the Vikings beat us to a uniform redesign. That's the problem here. That's the problem here. We should have revamped these uniforms years ago. If you ask me, I am infamous for saying that I've never really been a huge fan of the Ravens uniforms. These here are a step up. I think they need to be modernized, right? I think everything needs to look sharper, more modernized. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, this is not the official jerseys. Again, the official jerseys will be announced on April 16th, or they'll be revealed on April 16th. Okay? So we just kind of got to hold on to that for now. But I think that was about all I had for you guys here on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. I think that's about it. Guys. We got through everything as we're about an hour in. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the stream here, guys. Listen, we will be live tomorrow night for the official pod, the PRP main pod with me and Alex. We may have a guest. We may not. It's tentative right now. We will see. But again, until next time, please be sure, like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And as always, like we always say, stay positive, test negative, and never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. My name is Sudden Death. This is the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Catch you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Peace.